Hi friend, David here from Learn Stage Lighting. And if you like music, or if you're in a band, in a worship team, working as a DJ, and you work on a smaller scale where you really don't need to pay a lighting person to set up all the things, then I know that the biggest challenge that you have is getting a really interesting show every night. Okay, or interesting service if it's a church. So how can we help you get the best show when you're also performing? That's what we're talking about this month on Learn Stage Lighting. When it comes to running a great show, if you're standing on stage, you're playing, whatever it is you're playing, and you want to create a great light show, then you've got a couple options, right? If this is on a smaller scale, you might pay an audio guy, you might not, right? But you certainly don't have the budget for a lighting person, or really the need. Because when I look at different size shows, just to, obviously for lighting professionals, it's been a tough year the past year or so. But regardless, I'm talking about 2020, if you see this way into the future. But regardless, the point that you need to hire a lighting person for your show is when you're going into venues that have significant rigs and you want to control them and do a great job, and or you're setting up enough of your stuff that it takes a whole person in order to do that. It takes someone dedicated that to get it done. Until you reach that level where you're at the level where you're at a church and it's installed, or you're playing smaller shows where you set up your 4, 6, 8, 10 lights, whatever, and you then want to run them from stage, what do? Well, this month, we're really talking about and diving deep into running things from stage and automation, and showing you guys how this can be a reality for you. Because I think one of the biggest hiccups people have is you buy these lights, you set up 4, 6, 8 lights around you, and then you really only from stage have the ability to go over to the lighting thing and press the button, or hop on the tablet and fire lighting, once per song, twice per song, whatever, right? And that doesn't make a great show. In fact, I would recommend, and what I do recommend, is when you're doing lighting on a smaller scale, get it down, break it down to the essential few fixtures that you need. And then spend the bulk of your time getting the right software or console solution in place and programming it really wisely. So that's what we're talking about this month. And when it comes to automating a show or running it from stage, we've got a variety of options, and it can be really overwhelming to figure out what's best for you. Ultimately, in these videos, I want to walk you through your options and get you to figure out what's best for you, and then show you where you can get more help. So when it comes to automating lighting, there's a few things, or pre-programming things to run live from stage, and we'll talk about methods to do that here. There's a few things we want to talk about. The first thing that's really important is you want to have a really good setup going in to automating your show, okay? Whether you're automating or you're going from stage, programming in 5 scenes with some different colors isn't going to cut it, okay? So what you want to do, no matter what lighting system you're using, and I'm purposefully not mentioning a lot of consoles here, because ultimately, you want to make sure that you have lots of things to choose from. If your console or software has palettes or presets, you've built up a lot of these in order to be able to create different looks when you go to automate it, either the backing tracks or run things live on stage with the music. Okay? Not only that, but you want to make sure that you're being orderly as you set these things up, as you're programming different positions for your moving lights, as you're programming different colors, as you're doing movements and things like that. Staying organized and laying down a really good base is like the most key thing that you've got to do in order to get ready. Okay? So when it comes down to it, automating your show, the first step, either automating or running things on the fly, is to build those building blocks that you need. If you've got a lighting console that has groups, make groups for all of the things you want to use commonly together. For your different sets of lights, for all your lights, things like that, make different groups. Then go ahead, make those presets or palettes if the console supports that, and start to build some cues that you know you'll want to use, cues or buttons or live tabs or whatever your software calls them, that you'll know that you'd like to use in your show. Okay? Staying organized and making a really great setup here is going to help you so much when it comes to automating your lighting. Then, that's right, in our next video, we're going to take a well-organized, pre-programmed show, and I'm going to show you a couple different ways to automate it to backing tracks. Alright, now, if you're ready to get started with programming things for your show or service, and you're like, hey, I don't know what to program, David. You mentioned programming different groups and different presets, but how do I choose what to program? Well, you're in luck. I've got my lighting console setup guide ready for you. It's going to walk you through the things that you need to know to set up a lighting console for success or software. Now, this is console agnostic, so it'll work no matter what platform you're on. And I'm going to share it with you absolutely free. So click here to sign up and get that free guide delivered to your email. Subscribe here, and we'll see you in our next video where we're going to talk about automating your lighting show to backing tracks, a couple methods to do it, and how to save yourself time and money and frustration as you go. Thanks so much. We'll see you there.